Hey everybody, welcome back into the penultimate version of Bryce's bye week buys here in week 11. Last week, obviously, we had 6 teams on bye. This week, only 4, but they're 4 pretty big ones. You got New York Giants, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram, a lot of guys out there. Obviously, the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones. Then you have other teams like the Tennessee Titans. I told you guys about Ryan Tannehill last week. That worked out pretty well. I'm going to toot my own horn for a second. But Mike's favorite, Corey Davis, is going to be on bye. And then lastly, the Seattle Seahawks with future MVP, Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson, all these guys. A lot of places to fill here, and I'm going to walk you through them. If you haven't seen the show before, the way it works is I'm going to go position by position, give you 1 or 2 guys that are owned in under 50% of ESPN leagues. So for the majority of listeners out there, these guys will be available on the waiver wire for you to go and pick up. But occasionally I did this last week with Ronald Jones in Tampa Bay. There will be guys that own a little bit more that I really want to go out and get. Without further ado, we'll start with the quarterbacks. Obviously, lots of quarterbacks to fill in for Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. Daniel Jones has been a serviceable starter, especially a couple of last weeks, putting up 4 touchdowns and 300 yards or so. He's done that twice now with no interceptions. But at the quarterback position, nobody this week, I think, is going to be better of the available quarterbacks than Derek Carr. Derek Carr has the enviable matchup at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. He has been a very consistent quarterback this year. He's put up 20 plus, I should say, in 3 out of the last 4 weeks in the majority of standard leagues, how they work with scoring quarterbacks. But you also have guys like Josh Jacobs contributing in the passing game. Tyrell Williams is back, of course. Darren Waller had a down week last week. He'll pick it up again. He's going to have a good week against the Bengals, owned in 49.9% of leagues, just under the wire, counting him on the bye week buys. If he's not there, if you're in that other 50, if you're in that 49.9, look to Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen's going to have a big week against the poor Atlanta Falcons, who somehow managed to win last week, going up against the lofty New Orleans Saints. Moving now to the running back. Not too many here, but one guy you should absolutely target with or without the guy that got hurt, Devonta Freeman. This is going to be Brian Hill. Brian Hill is going to be the starter on the Atlanta Falcons for the next couple of weeks. That Devonta Freeman is out. So if you can get the lead ball carrier on a team on the waiver wire, go and get him. I said that with Ty Johnson, but Ty Johnson has not been the primary ball carrier. Brian Hill, he's it. Ito Smith is hurt. He had 16 rushes last week for an abundance of yards. I think it was 60 yards. He's going to play very, very well going up against a middle-of-the-road Carolina Panther rush defense. Moving to receiver now, I'm going to go with the guy that broke out last week. I told you about him in San Francisco, Deebo Samuel. Big week last week, 8 receptions, over 100 yards. The first time that he's eclipsed the century mark. Deebo Samuel's only owned in 19.9% of leagues. He and Jimmy Garoppolo are developing some kind of rapport, and he is going to have a great matchup against the Arizona Cardinals with both George Kittle and Emmanuel Sanders. George Kittle is going to be out most likely. Emmanuel Sanders is injured, so he won't be 100%. Deebo Samuel might be the guy for Jimmy GQ Garoppolo out here. He's going to have a good week. Other than that, you can look at James Washington if you want to get to a game tonight on Thursday night. Lastly, moving into the tight end position. This is going to be a guy that was really great for 1 year, but just can't get out of the injury bug. But he has this year for the most part. Tyler Eifert. Tyler Eifert's going up against an average Oakland defense. He's only owned in 12.9% of leagues. AJ Green is still out. Tyler Boyd has not produced as well as we'd hoped he would. Tyler Eifert is good for at least 3 catches a week, 20 to 40 yards. Hopefully he finds the end zone. That's about all you can ask for out of a bye-week replacement at tight end. And then finally, I started doing this a couple weeks ago, talking about defenses here. If you stream defenses, I stream defenses. A couple that I really like. First, the Carolina Panthers. I do like them. They're owned over 50%, but if they're there, please get them. The Atlanta Falcons, they didn't really look that good against the Saints offensively. Great defensively, had a good system. But the Panthers are going to be a good defense, especially with their guys like Luke Kuechly out there. But for the teams that are under 50%, that's going to be the Oakland Raiders going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes, just told you to pick up Tyler Eifert, but Ryan Finley, Joe Mixon has been okay. The Raider defense has forced a couple turnovers recently, a couple touchdowns. They're going to be pretty good. I like them to show up better than the Redskins, who are, I don't know what they're going to look like against the Jets. So we saw Sam Darnold torch them last week. With that, use the Raiders in your bye weeks. Not even for your bye weeks, just if you're streaming defenses. Thank you all for listening, and if you disagree, agree with what I say. If it works out for you or if it doesn't, give me a shout.